This is going to be a video on printing and exporting from your Revit model. So let's start with exporting. There's a couple things that you can do. Actually, there's quite a bit you can do. When you're exporting, you go to File, Export. You can see here you can export in quite a bit of formats for CAD. Anything from a DWG for CAD, DXF, STL for 3D printing, all that fun stuff is here. You can export out PDFs, IFCs, DWF markup files, FBX files, and then there's other formats as well. You can export out your images or animations, so you could export this out as an image as well as any of these formats. And then at the bottom here, we also have the ability to export out your schedules as well as room and area reports. So let's start real simple. If I wanted to export out a CAD file, simply go here. Now this goes into more advanced. If there's interest in controlling the layers that things come out from Revit to CAD, you can go into your DWG export setup and actually tell Revit what to name the layer in CAD for each category. Now, if I just wanted to export out as is, I'm going to go ahead and say next. Give this a next location to save, a name. And for the naming, you can choose either long, which lets you specify a prefix, or automatic short, or manual, so you can specify the whole name. If I say short, you can see the name is pretty short. When you're exporting out sheets, be sure if you don't need to, don't check this box so that the views come out as part of your file and not as separate files. And that's it as far as exporting CAD. If you wanted to create PDFs, prior to Revit 22, you would need to use a PDF creator such as Bluebeam, Adobe, something along those lines. After 2020, or starting with 2022, you could use Revit's native PDF creator, which is actually pretty nice, and I find that you run into less issues. So in order to do that, you go to File, Export, PDF. Now, a shortcut that I like to set for that is just PD. So I'm going to use my shortcut. Now, the way that the dialog works here is you can either set up to export your current view, or if you're interested in, for example, exporting out a set of plans, I can go in and say, okay, let's go to selected views and sheets. All sheets is a set that's already there, but maybe I just don't need all of them and just need plans. So what I'll do is I'll duplicate this set, or actually, yeah, let's go ahead and duplicate, and then let's call this just plans. And then I'm going to go ahead and uncheck anything that is not a architectural plan. And you can see they start disappearing from here. Go ahead and get rid of these. Let's go ahead and get rid of all these. So I have an A101, A102. Now I know there's an A103 because I see it here. So what I need to do is just uncheck this box. Just totally lost my place there. And then you'll be able to see A103. Here it is. Check that box. Hit select. Yes, I want to save this. So there's my plans. I go back in here. You can see my 3 sheets selected. I can give the file a name if I'm combining them all into one. Now, if you wanted to export out the sheets by themselves, I can uncheck this box, and then this dialog gives you a nice little feature here. You can actually tell Revit to name your PDFs after your sheets. So let's say I bring these back in, and I want my sheet number as well as my sheet name. Get rid of the dash. Gives you a preview down here what the name's gonna look like. All right, I'm gonna hit OK on this. It's gonna save right here my documents or even just my desktop. Okay, for the page size, let's say use sheet size, or I can indicate what it needs to be. Now I forgot to check. I'm gonna assume in an ArcD, but I'm probably gonna be wrong. For the zoom, don't ever do a fit to page. That means that the drawing's not going to be to scale. You want to make sure that it's always zoom 100%. Leave orientation is automatic. Paper placement is fine. Vector processing, you always want to choose vector processing. Now, if you have views that, for example, contain shadows or any sort of editing like that, then those views will default to raster processing. Now, this gives you pixels. This gives you vectors. Vectors are better for printing and just in general are better. Something to not forget is to make sure to hide any unreferenced view tags so that if you have elevations that are from working views or something, they don't show up in your PDF plans. I'm gonna go ahead and hit export. Yes, I want to save this. I'm gonna call it ArcD, and then because I'm doing individual sheets, I'm gonna say that individual sheets. So typically when I set up a template, I will preset all of these with whatever the firm's preferred sheet sizes are. I'm gonna hit OK, hit export, and there it goes. So that's been exporting to CAD as well as creating PDFs. And I highly recommend, if you're gonna plot, that you first create the PDF and then you plot it. You don't really want to be plotting directly from Revit. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Got any questions? Head over to bimdad.com and let us know. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. See you in the next one.